Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is a yarn chat video. So just a little rundown. First, I'm going to talk about some projects, finished 2 whips, and then I'm going to talk about what's happening over here, and then probably some random chat. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so let's go with the first finished object. I was crocheting out of this book again, the one that I've been loving lately. I got this for Christmas for my husband. 2 Cute Amigurumis. If you remember, the reason I love it, it kind of reminds me of Mariah Elizabeth and her channel. She paints squishies. I've been watching her for years, mostly because of my daughter, but then I did kind of secretly fan her. So I started this project right here. It is a popsicle. Now, the first thing that I did different than the designer is I used worsted weight yarn instead of fingering. So because of that, it was huge. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then, of course, I had to add a few things to it. So this is what it looks like. I decided to not make it a little popsicle because it was so big and it was going to look weird. Pretty much the ears are the same. There's a little carrot on top. Body, everything here is the same except for I put little feet on him. I gave him these little nubby arms. Like a T-Rex, can't do anything with his arms. He sits down, or she, and then I gave her a little tail because I felt like a bunny cottontail, and it matches her hair. So this is what I turned it into, cute little amigurumi. I'm thinking about making another one. I better do it quick before I forget how I did the arms and legs. So this was inspired by that pattern book. Put it right there. In a couple videos that I've made, I've actually had her or him done for a while, and he's been sitting over there. The next project that I'm working on comes out of, I'm trying to find my books, my crochet, Bella Coco's book. You can crochet with Bella Coco. Now, she gives you very specific instructions with each pattern and teaches you new techniques with each pattern. I decided to make this, I'm trying to find the one in here. I did not use the colors, and in fact, I'm not done. This is a current whip. I just started it last night. I don't have a zipper though, and I don't want to go to Joann's because I'm afraid I'll buy yarn. Where are you? I'm making a little something. Here it is. Let's see if I can get a nice page for you to see it. Oh, here we go. I made one of these. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. This is coming out on the Sunday before Valentine's Day. So it's the 12th. So I made this. I used cotton. I did not use the kind of yarn she did. And I was trying to use the techniques that she taught us in the blanket that's behind me, where you hold the yarn underneath in order to do the heart pattern. But I think I think this is supposed to be the outside, which now it looks like the inside. So that if I flipped it around and made this the outside, you could, from a distance, it looks real cute. But when you get up close, it looks like a nasty little mess, especially right up here. So I'm debating on ripping it out. The other thing is she wants us to attach a zipper to it. So you whip stitch your sides and then sew a zipper on there. I might just frog it out, because the other thing that she gives you an option of doing is cross stitching the heart on. I don't know, you guys. I just wasn't as thrilled with how it came out as I was hoping it would be. I love this cotton red with I love this cotton white sparkle. Yeah, I don't know. Just looks real ugly. So then I thought about going over it with the white and cross stitch over this to kind of really give it that white. I might still do that. So that is the second whip that I have been working on. First whip. It's the newest of the whips because I've also I'm about ready to mostly finish off this blanket. I kind of got a snarled up mess here. Come on over here. I've ripped out this row carrying it around. This is a blanket that I've been making with Hirschner's yarn, a pink, a purple, and a variegated. I bought it 100 years ago when I was with Knit and Deb at the Hirschner warehouse sale. And I'm going to be honest, it's not super soft. It's kind of scratchy. I was hoping to wash it to see if that made it feel a little softer. But I was making it for a coworker, or a former coworker, who was having a baby. And I guess I slowed down and he had the baby. Him and his wife did. So now I'm like, I miss the baby. And I don't work with him anymore. So I thought, well, just finish it off. I'm going to re-crochet this row of variegated that I just pulled out, carrying it down here. And then I'm going to do, I think, a row of purple. Although I should probably do a row of pink. And then just finish it off, weave in the ends. I guess I'll drop it off for Christ Child Society. Christ Child's. Is it called Christ Child Society? Or am I mixing Crochet Society? Well, anyway, I'm going to drop it off to be donated for babies. But, like I said, I wanted to wash it. So I'll give you an update on if... This is my first time ever using the Hirschner's 8-ply worsted weight. Because I do think it's itchy. So that is probably what I'm going to be doing next. I just made up that pattern myself, nothing fancy. 2 rows of half double crochet, a variegated, then a row of windows, double crochet, skip one, double crochet, skip one, and then a half double crochet in purple, and then the X stitch or the cross stitch in pink. And I'm using a 5.5 millimeter tulip. I love these hooks. I started using them because of, I forgot her name. How terrible am I? What good am I doing right now? I'm forgetting everything. Z. She mentioned these once and I tried one. I was like, oh, I love them. So I bought a set. So that's what I'm going to be working on in a minute. Hopefully to finish that off, at least have a baby blanket finished, weave in my ends, watch a couple of videos. Now, I'm very excited. If you are a regular person who watches my channel, you'll see that my yarn is different. And that is because after last night of working on this while watching Mama Llama Kayla, Mama Llama Kayla has a video, which I will link in the description, of she's got a yarn room, like either a very large closet or a very small room. And I'm not going to say I'm jealous. I just have to wait for that time in my life, because right now her kids have grown up and moved out of her house, right? And I still have 3 kids, so my time will come to where I can convert my dream is Maddie's room into my yarn craft room. I'm going to keep a bed in there. Look at this, I'm planning and she's only 14. But then I was going to put like shelves or I don't know. But anyway, so I was watching her video because she's talking about organizing her yarn in her yarn room. So I decided to organize my yarn up here. Now, just this summer, it had to have been like May, June, or July. Maybe June or July. I completely organized this yarn. I pulled out yarn I hadn't seen in 100 years or I didn't like anymore. And I donated to the senior center. And I had organized this yarn by weight. The top row was all kinds of chunkies. Bernat blanket, you know, that fuzzy Bernat blanket, baby pipsqueak. Then I went worsted, DK, fingering. Well, I didn't like it. The reason I did not like it is it looked a mess. And when Mama Llama Kayla was organizing hers by color, I was like, I think I'm going to try that. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to make another video because I can't just flip it and start recording. I got to stop it and start it. And I'm going to show you how I organize. Now, my darling son, Jaron, who I don't talk too much about, he's the middle child. He helped me because he's a kind soul and he's always up for a good project. So I'm going to share with you how I updated it. The saddest part of this situation is now all of these cubbies have yarn in them, whereas these 2 cubbies, which you can't see, this pink one and then this one right here, used to be, this had some fancy yarn and my binders where I keep my printed off patterns. And then this one had all stuff in it that I have now piled up over here. A couple Crochet Society goodies that I've gotten, a little pink basket with some chapstick and knickknacks. So I now have it on a pile, and I'll show you that little pile. You can kind of see it right over there behind the yarn winder. And I just got to figure out where to put that stuff. Then I also have been a very good girl and been saving my receipts. And I have a bin that I just tuck them in. Every time I buy something, I just shove them in here. Now, I'm sure there's a better way to be doing it. And I've actually considered this year switching to one of those like accordion files and labeling it by month and then putting my receipts in there. So I will probably be doing that soon. But no further ado, I will show you my new color organization. Hey everybody, now I'm going to show you how I organize my yarns. First thing I did is I stuck a bunch of my cookies up there. I have a bunch of cookies that I have jammed up there. Originally I had them all facing so you could see the pretty swirls, but in order to get them up there, I had to put those there. And most of my Go-Go's have been shoved up in there. So those are on top. I've got some thicker ones, some chunky, and some worsted. Then over here, oh, those are the Pipsqueak, bulky Pipsqueak. I kept them there together because they're mostly variegateds anyway, so they wouldn't fit my rainbow. Here, Bernat Blanket, all mixed in there. Here is a section of variegated yarns. These are thinner variegateds, and a button and cat. These are mostly, in the front part are sparklies, and in the back there's some kind of bulkier yarn. I honestly should have caked that brown stuff, but it's a thicker, usually a fluffier or a furrier kind of yarn, okay? Then here are my worsted variegateds. Just good old worsted weight, regular yarn, acrylic yarn. And then here I started with color organization. These are red and orange, and apparently I don't have very much of either of them. In the very back you can kind of see I shoved a rainbow in there. I have like 4 of those rainbows. Really had nowhere else to put them. So those are reds or orange. I know these are pushing their luck with being reds, but I didn't know what else to put them. Here is yellows and greens. Again, I don't have very many of those, enough to have, you know, they have to share a cubby. Mostly dark blues. Not sure how that one got there. And then these are more blues. Honestly, at this point, it was supposed to be dark blues, medium blues, and then aqua blues, but it looks like it's just all blues jammed in there. 3 cubbies of blue. Here is a cubby of purple, and then that pink one in there, and I just laid those on there because it really should be on this side. These are, again, more shades of purple. They're all the mixed purples. I mean, as you can see, there's like pinkish purple, gray purples, bluish purples, dark purples, light purples, brownish purples. 2 cubbies of those. Put that back. Then down here are grays and some blacks. I don't have very many of those, so I also was able to stick that llama in there holding a gray skein. This one back here, browns. Yuckies. That's what and then this one has a lot of brown in it, and it's a variegated, so I stuck it there. More so because there wasn't any more room in that one, right? And then my knitting needles. Pinks. All kinds of pinks shoved in there. And then a little bit of pink and whites and creams. Okay, now, that is the bulk of my yarn. But then I have this kind of disaster. This used to be all cotton, cotton, and cotton. And then down here were cakes, 3 shelves of cakes. But what I ended up doing was shoving like this variegated acrylic partial rolls. So now it's just all these kind of like little rolls that kind of look like cakes. Shoved up with some amigurumis. Do you see that? I definitely need to reorganize them. My next situation is I have these. This top one is all partial balls mixed. This is projects that have been in Ziploc bags that I'm not working on. And those are bags, so you can see a full pack of all that. I want to say they're DK or smaller. And then I have these right here. There's obviously smaller balls than the ones that are over there. Bags, books, pom-poms, pattern books. What I think I'm going to do is empty out all the bags and books here. And I'm going to organize them in there. And then I'm going to take all of my balls, my little small partials, and organize those by color. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, black, whatever, how I manage it. So that is the look of it. And I think that looks so much prettier, doesn't it? To be all color organized like that. I don't know. Okay, now I'm going to get back in my chair and talk to you guys, okay? So organizing your yarn is hard because everybody has ideas. Like originally when I first started my organization last summer, I had my yarn organized by brand. So I had my Red Heart in one bin, my Karen yarns, my I Love This Yarn, Bella Coco, my Yarn Shop Fancy Merinos, and I have those all mixed up now by color. And then like I said before, it was all mixed up by size, chunky. You know, there's so many different ways to do it. I like the idea of doing it by size. However, I don't like the look of a mixed up yarn. I also thought about organizing it by type. Merinos, cottons, acrylics. Because I'm in this corner area, which I don't have a lot of room, and I'm really filling it up, I think if I had my ideal craft room, what I would do is organize it by type and then color within. So for example, all my like private yarn shop merinos and stuff like that would be separate, and then they would be organized by color. And then it would be like my cheap worsted weight yarns, you know, Karen, Red Heart, I Love This Yarn, Big Twist, all of those, Little Lion Brand, all by color, by worsted. Then like my DKs, I think that's how I would really like to do it, but I just have these shelves available. And I don't have really room to have a container that is a partial cube. Like I need to have them jammed packed in order for me to fit these. Because already on the very top up there, I do have some like jammed in the back of there. So, and then I do want to organize this hot mess. But I think my next go, like I said, is to organize the little shelf behind me with those little drawers organizing my balls. Because the problem is, like I said, I don't have a cubby now for my pattern books. I don't have anywhere to sit them, to put them. And then I have those 3 big binders, and I have my container of receipts, and I have my Crochet Society stuff. So I thought about putting them in here. I don't know. So I might just take a break for today. I still have tomorrow off, so I could still do a little bit of organizing. But for the most part now, my area is tidy. I just have a couple little bit of messes, and I still have my main workstation here, where I have like my computer here. So if I want to see a pattern or watch a video while I work, that's here. And then I have this workspace. So that is my video, my yarn chat, some of my finished projects, my whips, and then my organization. And I really am liking the look of those pinks, purples, and blues right there by me. All right, you guys, my next video is going to be a product review, still arts and crafty type product review. So wait for that video. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.